Welcome to the Ultimate Social Challenge. Tina Williams here, and
Maria Gonzalez, hello.
Hey everybody, and in today's call, we are doing Q&A. So for those of you who might be new, our first call, Module 1, you can find in the members area. We're going to take a peek at the members area, and this is our first Q&A session. And this Q&A is designed around the prior module. Now, since we have only had our intro, Module 1, the content and the questions that we'd like to see and answer in this call will be primarily related to Module 1, which I'm going to do a quick recap on. But if you do have other questions that we can easily answer now that don't really go crazy into future trainings, we're not doing training on this call. So if you have a question that we know for a fact will be answered in future training, we will give you brief answers, but we will just say, listen, that is something we're going to be handling in module whatever, because we can't do teaching on these calls. But this will be primarily based around anything that we've taught already in the challenge and any other side questions we can get answered for you guys. So welcome to the Q&A call, everyone. If you haven't seen it, inside the members area, we've already got some changes in here. Module 1, I know it's little, guys, but don't worry, we're going to go live to the site at the end of the call just to let you know some of the changes that we've made. Need help. This is all I cared about right there. If you need help, click that button. One of the most amazing super angels will help you. Or if you have any questions that they can't answer or that they think are relevant to the Q&A, that will get put on our Q&A list. So Module 1 is up. The plan, that's primarily what we're going to go over. Plus we have our webinar, which was from the Module 1 training. And some of our bonus webinars are here too, as well as under the bonus tab on the navigation bar. So we'll go and check out the members area a little bit later. But before we do that, we are going to talk a little bit about challenge goals again, because I did see some questions on this. Just to reiterate, guys, the Ultimate Social Challenge, just like all of the other challenges Maria and I have done, they're about you. Every single one of you on this call. Currently, we have over 1,000 people on this call, and we have, gosh, Maria, at last count, I think a little over 6,000 people have registered to date, and we haven't closed the doors yet.
You haven't checked to see if it's over 7,000 yet, but yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So we have a lot of people who are in this challenge, but for every single one of you have chosen to get in this challenge, the success is about you. All of you are coming in at different levels. Some of you are coming in bare bones, just getting online and looking to determine how working online is going to be able to benefit you. Some of you are seasoned professionals and consultants out there helping businesses establish their entities online. So we have all kinds of different levels, people with different reasons for doing this, but the success is about you. If you can do anything to take your business to the next level, utilizing the strategies that we show you in this challenge, then you've had success, great success. And as you'll hear us say multiple times throughout the challenge, satisfaction is the key to success. Satisfaction. Every day that you've taken an action to move closer to your success, to move closer to getting your business to the next level, be satisfied. Be able to go to bed every night satisfied, because that is a key to success and satisfaction. Go to bed inspired, wake up, or go to bed satisfied, wake up inspired, and you'll be psyched to rock and roll with the new steps that we give you in each consecutive day of this challenge. So guys, the success and the key to success is about you. So what's going on, you banging around back there?
Sorry, I thought I was on mute. I apologize.
No, I'm laughing at you. I'm just trying to figure out. You're probably trying to get dressed back there, right?
No. No, we have some great questions coming in. I was typing them back to people, and maybe it was the long headset thing here. No, really good questions. Can I just fire away? I know you got some prepared ones. But
yeah, you know what? Before we do that, yeah, guys, let's do this. What we're going to do is let me just run through real quick the Module 1 goals. Primarily, this is what we're going to concentrate on: the MET formula, the TPK formula, and the puzzle box theory. creating your playground, and then moving to your profit zones. Yesterday we looked at the MET formula, the TBK formula, particularly the puzzle box theory. We have 10-minute videos in the members area on these. We have videos that walk you completely through this video and the worksheet, and I know the worksheet needs to be updated. No problem. We're working on that right now. This is our TBK formula. This is our puzzle box theory. And the Facebook SEO blueprint, which Maria has some really cool stuff coming out on. That's just a quick recap of what we went over yesterday. So you have questions. We have answers. Maria, let's rock and roll and start answering.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Kirby's funny saying, wow, I love that, an owner's dream. 7,000 people, Marie in the lake doing the backstroke with Peggy Sue. That's funny. Some questions around, lots of questions, consulting and Facebook timeline and stuff. Here's one in regards to Facebook, the timeline cover. Do you have any suggestions on what colors to use?
Well, if you'd like, one of the first things that I have you do is go to the branding video. It's a webinar that we did just a couple of days ago. So it's got 10, actually 12, we put, or maybe 13 bonus steps in there, that there's all branding strategies. As far as colors, it really depends. I mean, there are very strong colors, the yellows, the blues, the greens, and bold colors that a lot of people like to use in branding. But as far as I'm concerned in branding, it really depends on what your objective is, your MET formula and your TBK formula. Because I'm just going to throw this out just because I can't come up with a better example, but if your target audience, and as my daughters would call it, is goth, you know, the kids that wear all black and stuff like that, then I'm going to say pastel ain't going to work. So you really need, that's why Maria and I started out with that foundation, really you want to determine who your target audience is and what would appeal to them, and then move forward from there. Maria, as far as branding, do you have any other ideas?
Yeah, you know, really for colors, it depends what you're looking to do. I mean, and it goes back to, like Tina said, your objective and who the target audience is and what your benefits are. For instance, if your target audience are, you know, baby boomers, females, and they, I guess what I would do is show pictures of that age, right? Target audience. So that's what you got to think about. If it's teenagers, then show pictures of teenagers. That's your target audience. You know, females between 18 and 22 or something, right? College students or something. Look at McDonald's, Burger King. They're yellows and reds all the time. Look at any fast food company that's been around forever, yellow and red. Why? Because the colors yellow and red incite a subconscious response of, I can hear you typing, a subconscious response of fast, like just, you know, move fast. Blues, which you see Tina and I use a fair bit as well, bring in the authority but also trusting response. You know, I've been wearing blues, turquoise in a lot of my videos and pictures since 1999, 2000, believe it or not. And because when we're kids, you know, who are you taught to look up to? The police, right? And what colors do they wear? Blues, right? So that's that question. So keep on going with the Facebook questions. I love it, but I want to also mix it up with the consulting questions as well. Yes? Yeah,
let me stop 1 second on too much with the Facebook question, guys. Here's where I'm going to go. Is I have 2 questions that I want to answer that were sent in particular, but I just want to give you guys some ideas. Is on Module 2, we're going to literally be walking through the setup and all the ins and outs of Facebook, and we have the timeline webinar that is in the members area as well. And as far as Facebook questions, we're going to try to answer as many of them as we can without infringing on the training that we're doing tomorrow. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. Okay, so Maria, I'll definitely answer a lot of them, but I also don't want to overlap too much on what we're going to be teaching.
Yeah, well, let's jump to the consulting question. And Leslie Lamb, thank you. She says she was live in the webinar yesterday and watched all the homework except the Facebook timeline. Thanks for keeping them down to size. Yeah, a lot of the videos on that day one are short and sweet. One's long, but most of them are short and sweet, so don't get intimidated by seeing all that there. The question was, I forget who it was from because we have so many people on the webinar, the questions keep rolling in. But I remember this one specifically, and I want to hit it. If you're just starting a consultancy, you know, doing Facebook pages, social media for local businesses, what would you suggest we start for prices? Aha. Tina, you want to answer that first, or you want me to go ahead with that?
Go ahead.
All right, cool. So great question. First of all, the price of a thing is what it brings. And I know people hate to hear that answer, but seriously, it's one of the most common questions that we get. You know, what do we price our services at? And it really does depend. It depends on, you know, where you are. It depends on your overall business plan. So for some people, I tell them, and don't be shocked and gasping, I tell them to find 3 influencers and do it at cost or even for free. A Facebook page, because they will refer 3 to 5 other businesses to you and make that a stipulation, right? The other way you can do it is kind of a half-off deal to get your first clients in the door in your client portfolio. We've had one of our delegates in Las Vegas. This was fantastic success story. He went and used his zone of influence, because that's the #1 best way to go get fast cash and with your consulting firm if you're brand new. You know, count on your hand, on your 10 little fingers, 10 people you know. You know, you're an optometrist, a real estate person, an attorney, your personal trainer if you have a personal trainer, like just people you know that have business. And you approach them. And what Steve, one of our delegates, did is he just said, hey, what are you doing online right now to market yourself? And then repeat that question. Hey, what are you doing online right now to market yourself? And the person answered, and they said, well, I'll tell you what, I will set this up for you, and my normal prices are $2,000, but because I'm just starting this new revenue stream, I'll do it for you for half that, $1,000, as long as you refer 3 friends as well, businesses for me, assuming you're going to be happy with the work I do for you. Does that make sense, everyone? So that's one way. So, and the other aspect about pricing, again, what do you want to make, right? Work backwards from that. You know, that's kind of where what are you willing to do? Like, am I willing to do something for $500 for someone? No, but maybe someone listening on this call would be. It's just because that's my standards, right? But you should think big. You should get to that level where you want to charge a lot of money for doing certain things. But it goes back to your business plan, and we talk a bit about that in our Keep It Real coaching program, where we have the 10-10-10 formula, where, you know, 10 clients, 10,000 in 6 weeks or less. But I think that was enough, right, Tina? Anything to add to that?
Nope. Actually, I want to get to a couple of the questions that were sent in particularly. And one of them was a really good question. Let me just grab it here. Let's see. I am very impressed by what I have seen from you, and I am so looking forward to this course. I have one maybe elementary question about Facebook, however. The biggest factor that has delayed me from trying to establish a presence on Facebook is that I intensely dislike marketing to friends. So my question is whether it's possible to organize things so that the page announcements won't show up on your personal wall where your personal friends are. And Flurry, that's a great question. A lot of people have that issue. They are very concerned that ultimately many people don't actually tell their friends and family what they're doing. And I'm sure that there are many people on this call right now that may have that issue, that they may be saying, geez, you know what, I don't want anybody to know I'm trying this new online marketing thing, or starting a new business. When you set up your Facebook page, simply don't like it. Because on your personal profile, the way that things get pulled into your personal profile is when you like the page. So if you don't like that page, even though it might be your own, people don't know necessarily who the admin is unless you have it set up that way. So you want to make sure that you don't have the box ticked so that they can see who the admin is, and just don't like the page. And when you're talking on the page, it's only going to show up as the page name anyway. It won't connect with you unless you make that action and that happen. So I hope that makes sense for you. One of the other questions was about using Facebook in the name of the URL. And yes, that is against terms of service. So this particular person wanted to promote timelines and timeline covers. So if you are going to be doing a URL that you want to be Facebook related, you cannot use the word Facebook in a URL or in a, actually it'll stop you if you try to create one. At least we tested that one day. I don't know if that's the same now that we've had things updated, but you can't use Facebook in the in the actual user URL. So I hope that answers that question as well. Now, I have to address something really quick. Sarah, and I've seen a couple of other people that have said, my question on the live case study hasn't been answered, or you haven't answered my question yet. Guys, first of all, we got about 20 minutes in right now. We're going to be here for at least another 45 minutes, and we have 1,000 people on this call right now. The Q&A goes very, very quickly, so we do have someone capturing all the questions and sending them to us via Skype so that we can see as many as we can. But if your question doesn't get answered in this hour, we keep a running tab of all the questions, and we will come back in and answer as many as we can, and you'll see that up on the members area within 24 hours. So we're only able to answer just so many questions in the live Q&A. That's why we encourage you to send them in via the help button prior. And what doesn't get answered live on this call, again, the Q&A goes very quickly, so if your question doesn't get answered, you can resubmit it or make sure to send it in directly, and the angels will make sure that we get it. So I just want to make sure you guys know that we're not ignoring you at all. It's just, we can only just see and read just so fast. So Maria, there's another question here on what are the pros and cons of combining versus separating personal profiles, fan page, and business pages? That I'll grab, and then we can go to some consulting questions.
Awesome.
Combining and separating personal profiles and fan pages goes along with the question that I just answered. If you want to keep your personal profile personal, that when you set up your business pages, just don't like the page so that they don't interconnect. However, setting up multiple different business pages that you're going to see us do in the case study, they absolutely can be connected, they can talk to each other, and they can create even relationships and cooperative marketing strategies in between each other, and you can do the same thing with other people's pages. So depending on the niches, I mean, obviously there are some niches that you might not want to combine, but if you're putting together a community building strategy with your pages, you absolutely want to connect them and have them interrelate. So Angela, got that one down? Maria, have you seen consulting questions that you wanted to grab, or any questions on the MET formula, the TVK formula, or putting your plan together? I saw a couple of them, but they
Okay.
kind of whizzed by me. I'm going to go back and look for one if you want to grab a question.
Yeah, I think, I'm still looking.
Well, let me get this one. Brad, what do you mean by playground? I don't remember you talking about that yesterday, first call of the day. And Brigida asked about this being new stuff covered. No, this Q&A is technically for the content that we did in Module 1. We are going to be addressing some of the questions on consulting in general and Facebook in general, but it's technically designed to answer the questions from the modules prior on any given Q&A day, but we'll try to get as many questions answered as we can. And the playground, Brad, is, I believe that social marketing is fun. It's like a party. It's like a playground. It's where people connect, and they're real, and they interact with each other. So the social media playground is basically our cool copywriting words for our social media platforms, primarily the ones that we're talking about in the Ultimate Social Challenge, Facebook, Pinterest, and mobile, but it also includes Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Tumblr, and there's lots of other social platforms out there, but these are the ones that we're going to be concentrating on and the ones that we're going to be playing with throughout this challenge. So I hope that answers your question. Maria, is there anything else that you want to grab, or you want me to?
Yeah. There's a few questions about traffic. Let's get to that in a second. And before we do that, Malcolm's asking a great question. I struggle to get 2 or 3 of my to-dos done each day to build my business, plus serve the few clients I have. You have multiple businesses and multiple clients. What 2 to 3 key daily practices would you suggest folks like me must do to take my business to the next level? Fantastic question, Malcolm. So I guess I better answer, huh, Tina?
Go for it, Maria. I'm trying to answer other questions as we go through. Feel free.
Okay, hold on. Funny. She's got, Tina Williams, she's got power. She's got this most amazing productivity matrix video inside the challenge area. And where is that? Is that in the...
It is in the mindset videos. That's where I was going to go with that. But yes, we have the productivity matrix right there. We do have a couple other strategies that we use. Maria,
I'll take it.
You want to go for that?
Malcolm, here's what I do. Absolutely, and sometimes it gets really confusing when you're building your business and you got your to-dos, as you said, and you serve a few clients. And I hear you. The hardest part is getting your business off the ground and taking it to the next level. I really do believe that. I think anyone and his brother can start and sister can start a business. Anyone and his brother can be okay at it, but then to be able to take yourself out of it so you're not working so hard and you can scale up with your staff and with systems, that's a whole entire different skill set matter. Here's 3 things I'll do. I'm just going to name top 3 things, honestly, and Tina will probably say the same. One, I actually do what's called MMAs. What are my money-making activities every day? And when I really have a lot of stuff on my plate, seriously, even now, I still do this today, I will get a piece of paper out and pen. There's something magical about writing something down rather than just on a computer or using your iPhone notepad. I write down a piece of paper and a pen my 3 top money-making activities I must get done today. All right, I might have about 20 things I got to do, but are they money-making activities? I'm that vicious with my time, and I'm telling you, I've pissed people off. I've had even $10,000 clients call me, and when they're not supposed to call me, and I will say, you know, I'm a vampire with my time. Tell me exactly why you're calling or what's up. And the person just wanted to talk. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can talk to you on Friday. Today's Tuesday. So I'll be that rude almost. So I know that sounds horrible because actually if you ever met me, I'm the nicest person in the world, right? But the thing is, you got to be vicious and a bitch with your time, right? You really do. Excuse my language. I apologize. But I have to say it so strongly so you'll remember it. That's why I say that. So that's one thing. So one thing is money-making activities. 2, be very vicious with your time, how you manage it. I also use a timer. I have a kitchen timer. I'm not kidding. That goes beep, 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 beep. And I also have, and you guys have that in your OTO, the $27 VIP Mobile Club. You got Action Enforcer software as well. I actually give myself a time limit. Say I've got a squeeze page I got to do for a client. You know, I could ponder and pontificate and stare and look at 100 different squeeze pages for ideas. Before I know it, 4 hours has gone by. Has that ever happened to you? Talk to me, everyone. You got to be honest with me. Yes or no? Have you done that? Whatever task you're doing, you know, before you know it, 4 hours gone by, and you got nothing done. But you looked at a lot of damn good best practices sites. But you still got nothing done. Yeah, everyone's saying yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, baby. So what I do, I'll get that darn timer out, right? And I'll pop up Action Enforcer, and I'll go, okay, 20 minutes, that's it. Enough, like, farting around. 20 minutes, close all the doors, shut all the phones off. Boom, focused energy, focused time, getting it done. And then it's done, baby, right? And that's what you got to do. So the third thing, and Tina, I'll let you name 3 things. I think this is important because this is actually what's going to make the difference between you being successful and you not being successful. The third thing that I do, it's very difficult to stay focused. We are in an ADD world. We have tons of stuff. We have tons of opportunity. Like Tina and I talk about this probably every other day. We say, gosh, there's like 360 degrees to turn, and everywhere there's a way to make money, or someone's approaching you for a JV, or a client wants you to do this, or a prospective client wants you to fly. Hey, I'll fly you to Ecuador. Someone wanted to fly me to Ecuador to help him with his real estate development marketing and stuff. And there's all these other great companies to start. So what do? So what we do, and it goes back to the productivity matrix. It's not just about money, that's part of it, but also a large part of it is what do we like to do? Is it working for us now, right? And even this morning, I posed a question to Tina, something that's very financially rewarding for us, but I posed a question to Tina. If we were to start this program from scratch again, this is a different program we're talking about, how would we structure it so that we really go, it's the cat's meow, we really love it. Does that make sense? What is a JV, Sonia? Joint venture. That's, when someone approaches you and says, hey, I'll give you, whatever, X% of my profits if you help create this business with me or something. Cool. Tina, that's all I got for those the top 3 things I would say.
Guys, I'm going to bring you right back to what we learned yesterday. And in one of our Skype groups, which those of you who are in the Keep It Real Gurus program will have access to starting on Wednesday when we open the doors for that, I ask one question usually every morning, every other morning here and there, is one thing. What is your MET formula for the day? And we're talking business, but is your day going to be surrounded around you making more money, more exposure, or more traffic for your business? And if you design every business day around doing one activity, because I agree with Maria's, her analogy that she had with her money-making activities, but to me, not every day can be a money-making day, because money, exposure, and traffic all are campaign creation strategies. So if you can set forth a decision and make that day around money, exposure, or traffic, do whatever task that is, do it well, be happy with yourself. And that's how I structure each day. And I will tell you, like, you know what today is, I'll know what every day is, and my focus will be around those things. Now, I do need to make a comment here. Diana, and you guys will see it, I put it in the chat. And I've actually seen several of you also put this in here, that you're new and you're a little confused. Here's the thing, guys. You're on this call right now. And the fact that you're here and you're new to this, and Diane actually had said, she doesn't even know necessarily how to comment on Facebook, that's okay. The fact that you have taken the time to join us today, to go through this course, to invest in yourself, kudos to you. Maria and I are inspired and motivated by you. So don't worry. Again, I can't stress this enough. This is not a race. Take your time, follow along. We stack the value, and you will learn. And trust me, you don't need to know everything there is to know in 1 hour. Follow along, and you're going to get there. And just know this, that all the things that you're learning today and throughout the entire challenge, you're going to know so much more than the guy sitting next to you and the businesses that you might be going out there to help. So kudos to you guys for getting here. We appreciate it, and you motivate us. So thanks for every single one of you for being here. So questions that we have, let me go back to some timeline questions. Does Facebook require a certain amount of your personal information on your personal profile to keep your account and fan pages active? Well, yeah, you do have to set up a personal profile, guys. And technically, there's only one personal profile per live person. Now, if you choose to open personas, that's your giggy. But terms of service say one personal profile. When you fill out that information, technically all the information that you give them to open the account is really all the information you technically have to give them. But it really depends on your objective, how much information you want to open. I have, from years ago, when personas weren't that big of a deal, I have lots and lots of persona accounts on Facebook that I've opened, and they do get some regular content on them. I've yet to have an account closed because of inactivity, so I don't believe that there's any type of schedule on that, but Facebook does send you emails saying, because I got one on one of the accounts, welcome back, or we haven't seen you in a while. So they will send you out reminders to kind of get on, and but I've yet to see anything where they've threatened to close an account because of inactivity. So yes, Paul, great point. I'm going to share that. One personal profile, but unlimited business fan pages. Paul, you are absolutely correct. So thank you for adding that. Maria, do you see any questions in particular, or I'm just going to keep rolling with the ones that Ms. Angela had sent us?
I think, why don't you keep it the ones Angela sent us, and then we'll come back to the live questions, because they're similar in some of the live chat as well.
Great, Angela. Thank you for sending them on over. Feel free to grab any. I'm watching the Skype on my other computer. I am not a product seller, but a services seller. Who helps other services seller to sell their services? Did you guys just give that to me for a tongue twister? All right, so let me try to repeat that one again to make sure that I got it right. You guys showed it on successes. Whatever, successes. Okay, I'm not a product seller, but I'm a services seller who helps other services to sell their services. What is the key from your perspective? I'm guessing to help, you know, if you're business to business is what I'm assuming the question is. Maria, as I read that, is that what you're hearing?
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
they sell services to other businesses. It's just putting your objective together, dude. What you want to do is if you have a service, like a printer is an example, and whoever wrote that question, I'm sorry, I don't have your name in here, but if you have any more to add and say, hey, that was me, and elaborate on the question, I'll happily try to answer it the best I can. But the question was about conversions. Tom, is that your question? Is about conversion. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure. So converting, if you're selling services to other services, he's filling in. How to catch a client on a website. Well, how to catch a client on a website. Okay, so I'm going to guess how to drive traffic to your website from the social platforms. Does that help?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions around traffic
okay.
that kind of comes
so
into
funny.
that. Yeah.
You know what? And Suzette Desarzones, you couldn't resist this. If a service seller could sell services, how many services could a service seller sell if a service seller could sell services? LOL. You're a wise guy, Suzette.
Suzette, get your derriere to Vegas to meet us in October.
Oh, not traffic, conversions.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom, conversions. Here's my question, and this is a question that I pose to our students and to my clients. What is a conversion? And you saw that when we did the TBK formula. What does a conversion look like to you? Is it a name in an email box? Is it a sale? Is it a return on a redemption of a coupon? What is that mean to you? A phone call. Okay, I've used the phone call strategy. I did it with one of our medical professionals. To create that conversion, we incentivized them. We used Facebook in particular for it. I was given a particular number that if they got the calls to that phone number, then basically that showed my conversion, and I drove traffic to that phone number. In this particular instance, if they called using that number, that we sent them both from Facebook to an internal tab and to the website, they got to utilize a particular coupon, which is 50% off the consultation or a free facial. So that's how we track conversions on that. Now, there are probably a lot of other ways to track conversions, but the phone call, having a dedicated number, was great, and we just drove our traffic with an incentivized offer. So hope that helps in a small way. We're going to talk some conversions and traffic later on, and we actually have some traffic dudes that might be popping in to help us out on our VIP expert bonus panel that you guys don't even know about yet. But conversions, we can look at that a little bit later. And again, John Collins, anytime your target completes a desired action, but go back to TBK, you got to know what the action is. Define the conversion, define what that is and what ROI looks like. Hope that answers that question. Maria, have you, and Tom, let me know, and we can elaborate if, you know, but we do have a lot of questions coming through. I can maybe hit that on the knowledge base. Maria, any questions in particular?
How do you get people to the phone first, Ross asks.
Whose phone rang?
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. That was mine. I apologize.
No,
I have to.
Perfect timing.
Gosh, isn't that amazing? You're right. How do you get the phone ring and it was ringing? You know, I have this little podcaster audio board here, and I just hit this button. No, just kidding.
So on time. I was
yeah, and I apologize. Normally I don't keep the phone here, but my husband's flying back from British Virgin Islands. He was on a photography shoot of glamour girls there, but I got to keep the phone handy in case, you know, when he's traveling in the airport, something weird happens. So, but yeah, how do you get the phone to ring? Calls to action, you know.
Exactly, that's what it is. Maria, that's exactly, calls to action. In this particular case, the only way that you were able to get the free facial with your consultation is to dial that number. You needed to dial that, and we were very clear in our content creation and in the imagery that we used, like literally a picture of the phone with this number, with a facial. You know, get this, we've done it with a nail salon even, you know, where, you know, if you call that particular number, you got to, you know, say certain things, or redeeming the coupon from mobile, you know, you could send them, you know, to redeem this coupon, dial this number, and you'll get an access code. So driving the traffic with incentivized actions is probably one of the best ways to do that. Let me hit one more on a mindset. I want to talk about mindset. What activities do you personally do each day to get the right mindset? For instance, if your goal is $6,000 a month in income, do you write it down daily, say it daily? What do you do? Maria, feel free to answer that one first, and then I'll hit that baby up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? I was just answering a different question in the Q&A.
Absolutely. What activities do you do personally each day to get you in the right mindset? For instance, if your goal is $6,000 a month in income, do you write it down each day? Do you save each day? What do you do?
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you exactly what I do. There's a bunch of things I do, and it's really important, and it's made the difference between me making my first million and not making my first million. I wrote down my goals and what I wanted to achieve, I think in 6 months, you know, and it was actually huge numbers, folks. I thought big, and I put them on my fridge. Like, I printed them out and put them on my fridge, right? That's what I did to help me make my first million, and that was like in the early 2000s. What I do now as well, and I instruct everyone else to do, is I actually have a journal, and I write down every morning. And Tina even saw this when I was with her in San Diego and Raleigh, North Carolina. I get my little journal out every morning, and I write in it certain affirmations, like I work with people I love, and I make all the money I want. And I'll write my goals down, you know, about how much, you know, net worth I want. Like, I'll keep it that specific. So specifically for you, $6,000, then you got to focus on that $6,000. And once you make that $6,000, then you got to focus on a higher dollar amount too. Always challenge yourself. That's why this is called a challenge too, because it works. People perform. So write that goal down, 6,000. Tina and I, for one of our businesses, we actually laminated the dollar amount that we want that business to make, and we put a really cool picture of a car, like whatever resonates with you. Like with mine, it was this cool car. Tina, like cool house right on the beach in the ocean, and with the specific date, you know, or as if it already happened. Does that make sense? What else do I do? I so focus on mindset. I meditate. I listen to Kelly Powell, Powell, her binaural audio CDs on iPhone. I download them from iTunes. Kelly Powell, and it's called Super Meditations. I actually was just listening to that yesterday. Kelly Powell. I'll just type that in. Just go into Amazon and Google that. But I use a lot of mind technologies, binaural audio, all that stuff, because I really believe we only use 10% of our brain. And can you imagine just using some different technologies for 20 minutes a day? If you can pump that up even to top 20%, you know, haven't met anyone that's using 100% of their brain. But could you imagine if we could? Probably some yogi is, but at any rate, yeah, Kelly Powell. No, Howell. Is it? See, look at that. That swim in the ice water just kind of, it's Howell, isn't it? Let me go grab my iPhone. Okay, you answer that question. I'm going to grab my iPhone and I'm going to type
it. It is Kelly Howell. You know what? There's a couple of things in here, and because mindset was big with our pre-training, I definitely want to address a couple of things, and I believe I want to catch this comment up here. I think it was Neil who said that. Guys, stretching and really yawning, stretching, and all of that when you do get up in the morning, or get off your chairs. So if you guys tell me that you guys who are doing this or on this call right now, your butts haven't been in the chair for at least an hour or so, get up and get out of your chair. Walk around. I have a little rebounder thing that I'll play on here. I'll go to the beach. Just literally put your hands over your head. Stretch, yawn, feel it, because you know what? That's air and energy, and you guys know we are full of energy, and that's because you got to make it come to you. You got to bring that energy in. So mindset is essential. You really need to do that, yes. And vision boards, I personally am not a super big fan of vision boards as they are designed. I actually do something called reflection boards, because to me, the whole vision board, the whole security thing, it was all cool and well and good, but I put a mirror in the middle of them, and we call them reflection boards. I actually have a little product that we put together that we were just going to be selling reflection boards with something that...
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
In action, taking action, daily steps, taking action sure makes a change of how things move forward, because looking at the picture and using the vision board strategies is awesome, but nothing happens without your action, period. I truly believe that. Some of you guys might not, but that's okay. So I put a mirror on everything. So if you guys have a vision board, love it, great, it's awesome. Grab a dollar store mirror and put it in there and see yourself. Because I have another question that I wanted to answer here where somebody was saying, I'm an offline consultant, or I want to get into it. I have no experience. I have no portfolio. I have nothing. I'm just new to it. Dude, your credibility comes from your confidence. And look in that mirror and you say, I am a highly paid consultant, and believe it and feel it. And every day say it, because what you see in that mirror reflects out to everyone else. It truly does. When I first started out, I had nothing. And yet, my first check was $3,500, and I totally had to wing it. To this day, I do not have business cards and I don't have a consulting website, yet I have a list a mile long of people who ask me on a regular basis. Literally, I got an email yesterday about a potential client. I give clients away now. I have people who are black label people. I give them clients that come to me because I don't have time. And I love doing what I'm doing. So, guys, your credibility comes from your confidence. You got to feel it, and you got to let that ripple effect work. And when you can look in the mirror and say, I am a highly paid consultant. And for those of you who maybe don't want to be highly paid consultants, cool beans. Start with this. I am great. Period. Look in that mirror and say, I am great. And when you can feel it, you can do it. So, guys, you got to do that. Now, Maria, did you
I love that. I am great, and I am a highly paid consultant, absolutely. Let's have the final mindset question by Jim, because Jim Danda's question is really relevant, and I think you'll find the answer interesting. And yes, Ian, I've got Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, absolutely. Just everyone knows, I've invested over $150,000 in training and education and all the brain, mindset, mentor stuff since 2003. So the return on investment has been higher than that, but that's what I have invested in and studied. Jim Danda says, mindset. What is the top 3 mindset mistakes you see people make when you consult people in your programs? I love this. Tina might have a different answer, but it might be the same. But the top 3 mindset mistakes when we consult people in our program, the first one, totally, you're not thinking big enough. You all have been exposed, for goodness sake, you got into this challenge for a measly $7, all right? So you're not thinking big enough. You don't take it seriously enough, and so you're like, oh, maybe I'll make $500 on a Facebook page. I'm like, you can charge $5,000, or maybe I'll make, $1,000 on a mobile app. You can charge $10,000. 3 years ago, one of my students in Toronto was charging $10,000 all day long, and he still does it, while others were doing the exact same work for only $1,000, right? Why? Because what's in between your 2 ears. So you're not thinking big enough, probably because of the second biggest mistake, the network and the mentors you have. Now, I'm going to keep this tame, Tina, but there's a lot of fake mentors out there that BS their way, that they've made all this money or they do this. Their only way they're making money is by telling you the educational training. All right, they're not living and walking the talk, or they did it 10 years ago and it's not working today for how they did it 10 years ago. All right, and I think all of you can commiserate with me on that, because trust me, I've been there. I paid $2,000 for someone for something, and I realized I know more than this person. What the heck? So in the network, who you hang out with, right? There's a lot of, so that's that's a really important thing. It does involve mindset. It does involve you being in on this challenge. That if you're not hanging out with successful people, or people who push you, motivate you, educate you, inspire you, then how are you going to improve, right? I know when I was in high school, I absolutely hated my field hockey coach, right? But my God, she made me so good, and I performed so well that I then got onto the Canadian Olympic field hockey team, right? And now I thank her for that. It wasn't like a hate, evil kind of thought. It was just, oh, she made me work so hard, That's what we do to you in this challenge. The third other biggest mistake, focus. Shiny object syndrome. You're out there buying everybody else's stuff out there, and you aren't focused and sticking to your plan, right? If you stick to the plan that you want to make $6,000 in the next 6 weeks, for instance, like someone entered here earlier, what do you need to do to get there, right? And don't let anything else budge you, move you from that path, your fastest path to the 6,000. What do you got to do? Break it down. What business are you going to be in? Is it consulting, for instance? What are you going to charge then to get that $6,000? Are your first 3 clients going to be only $500? And then after that, you increase it to $3,000, right? So that means you only need 3 clients at $500. That's $1,500, right? And you can write this down. This is a real business plan. And then I assume, because this will happen, that you ask those 3 clients to refer 3 others to you. Okay? So that's 9 more leads that you will contact. And because it's a referral, a warm contact, you can convert those warm contacts much better than a cold contact. So 30% typically. So that's another 2 clients. You know, it's almost 20%. Instead of 10 people, it's 9 people. So instead of taking, so take 30% of 9. At any rate, let's just go with 2 people at $3,000. Remember I told you increase your price to $3,000. You just made in 6 weeks 2 times 3,000, so that's $6,000, and 3 times 500, $1,500. All right? So that's important to know. Now, what are your costs of that? How are you going to fulfill it? You got to figure that out too. So then you stick to that plan. So then you can avoid the shiny object syndrome. I'm not saying don't buy any other products or anything like that, because like Tina and I still buy products and stuff, but does it fit? This is how you stay focused. Does it fit in your plan, right? You know, we have clients that want certain things done, so there's certain software that we use and we would recommend for you to use. If it's something you don't think you can use, but if it's a phenomenal deal and you can afford it, then buy it and know that I've done this. I buy it and okay, I'm going to address this 3 weeks from now. That's where you're kind of vicious with your time as well, because you know what's on your plan. Does that make sense? I hope I didn't go too off track, because we got a lot of questions coming in, Tina, but I think that was so important because that's foundational to why you're here, I think, why you're taking this challenge, I hope, is to make lots of money, but you know what? You're just not focused, because obviously if you were and you were making your $6,000 per month, maybe you wouldn't be on this call right now. I don't know. Just guessing. What do you think, Tina?
Exactly. And, you know, one of the other things is, and Maria kind of touched upon it, is at a zero. Maria always told me that, and I know many of you guys who are here because you want to be consultants, maybe don't have the confidence to get out there and charge like, you know, we do $15,000, $20,000 for setups. That's okay. But know that wherever you start, continue to have the confidence in yourself to add a zero. I started out doing free work, and many of you guys are asking questions. How do I start? How do I start? Where do I get my first client? I started out with the local chambers of commerces and, you know, started doing their work for them. A couple of people, one question was a great question, is I don't have a business website yet. Can I use my fan page? Absolutely, you can use your fan page. And as far as joining BNIs, another question, BNIs, networking groups, I love, the workshop model is my forte. I love getting out there and doing workshops, and that is one of the mainstays that I got for my business, is I was out there all the time networking and building and building and building. But just know, adding a zero, continually doing that productivity matrix and reevaluating how your business is going and increasing your value in yourself. Because if you don't value you, your clients won't value you. Whether you're doing online marketing or offline marketing, even in what you're doing if you're just affiliate marketing, if you're not putting good, solid, credible, consistent content out there and you're not doing it with confidence, then guess what? People aren't going to take it seriously. You need to be able to look in that mirror and just be the best person that you can be, because that is going to make a huge difference. Chamber, how do you approach it? What was your very first step? Literally, Danny, one of my first steps with the Chamber of Commerce is I went to one of their little meet and greet things. And I got to know from the networking groups, the president there, and some of the other members. And I joined some local groups, kind of started showing them what I was doing. I was able to answer questions. When you're out there and you are positioning yourself as an expert, answer questions for people. Answer their questions intelligently, and what you don't know, don't be afraid to say, hey, I can get you the answer, because that really helps position you as an expert regardless of your websites or your business cards or anything like that. So definitely, I've done, like Neil is saying, I'm doing a free mentor training. Yeah, you know what? Positioning, and then the results of that, for those of you who could afford to do free work for people, which sometimes I'd almost say you can't not afford it because it can help position you and help build your portfolio and your references. Get out there and make sure that when you set up free work for people or low-cost work, one thing I would caution you on as I'm looking at these questions is scope creepers. If you are going to be doing any type of work for people when you're first starting out, protect yourself. Know your boundaries. Set up contracts if you are ready to do that, or make it very clear on a piece of paper, in an email, verbally, what you're going to be doing and what the parameters of what you're going to be doing are. If you're going to be setting up a Facebook page for $97 and it includes a timeline cover and a profile image and one welcome tab, don't do any more. Don't do any more. Barter situations, the same thing. Be very cautious to set up the parameters and do not let people scope creep on you, because it won't make you feel good about you or them, and it's going to sour you going forward. So be very, very clear. Very important point, scope creepers. Way easy to get caught in that, Steve Allen. Absolutely. And trust me, when you get a free client and you're thinking you're doing all the right things to get your business going, and then you have somebody who's asking you to do all this side work, and you don't have time to go out there and do what you need to do to either make money, build exposure, or create traffic for your business because you're so busy getting caught up in somebody creeping on you, or time vampires. Same thing. Scope creeping is, Ian, when you say that I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and they say, well, Ian, would you mind just doing this and this? I'd really appreciate it, and I don't really know how to do it. Could you help me out with this? For example, I had a chiropractor that I worked with, loved them, but had certain parameters to the contract, and because we were friends and, I knew the people that worked there, they'd be like, well, can you do a flyer for us? Can you do this for us? And I did, and then I did it very begrudgingly because it was going well beyond what I was getting paid for, and then the minute I let them creep on me and do that extra work, all of a sudden, one flyer became a whole brand new campaign that they didn't want to pay for because they just assumed it would be part of what I'd be doing. So be very cautious of that, my friends. Be very cautious. Protect your time. You guys, every one of you who's on this call right now is incredibly valuable. Know that. See that when you look in the mirror. Oh, yeah, time suckers can. Man, they'll kill you. They absolutely will. So let's go back. We have a couple of other great questions. Let's see if we can grab one here. See lions and little kittens. Melissa, that's a big image that you see us using a lot. Absolutely, and be cautious of friends. Wow, we're getting a lot of response on this. I have a question for you guys, and I'm a little afraid, Maria, that it might make GoToWebinar a little crazy, but based on the mindset videos and based on yesterday's training, I have a question for every one of you. One of the things that you were to determine, for those of you who have done the training, is whether your objective was money, exposure, or traffic. As I told you, in this particular Ultimate Social Challenge and the particular case study campaign we're going to show you, we are gearing towards money and fastest path to cash, and I will answer the question on what fastest path to cash is. As soon as I ask you this, I want to know, you guys are already answering it. Money, exposure, traffic, and no, the answer cannot be all of them, Danny. You've got to choose one to have effective, efficient campaign creation. Whatever you choose, if it's money, the other two will fall in place, and then you can always rinse and repeat, but it's got to be one of them. Money, exposure, or traffic. What is it for you? Wow. All right, a lot of mixed bags here. Traffic. Wow, good job, guys. Majority, obviously, is money. But we have a lot of mix-up. Thank you guys for answering.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I'm impressed with all you guys. And the reason why...
A lot of exposure, too.
Yeah, Maria and I tend to ask these questions. We do it for a very particular reason. Because we're technically doing market research with you live on this call. And the reason why I'm telling you this little secret is because success leaves clues. Don't go there, Maria. I heard it too. Success leaves clues. All right, so I'm not good with S's, guys. But it does. And repeat what we do. The strategy of asking questions is a strategy that we're going to teach you guys with content creation when we're talking about your Facebook pages. Because ask questions. One, it's market research. And two, look at all the, God, we have hundreds of responses right now. Could you imagine if I asked this question and I told you to all go to Maria and Tina, facebook.com/Maria and Tina, and go tell us there.
I'll type it in.
Yep, go tell us there on our Facebook page whether you're looking to do this ultimate social challenge for more money, more exposure, or more traffic. Think about that. That's invoking emotion because it's a question that you guys feel strongly about, and it's building comments on our page, which Facebook loves to see. We'll talk about a little bit of EdgeRank and how that comments helps build your page strategically, and it's helping us. It's helping us because as we look through this, if I see a lot of you asking about exposure and traffic, gosh, Maria, we might have to add a bonus module. What do you think?
No.
Just saying. I knew that was coming.
That was
She's
funny.
like, no, shut up. Try it, you. All right, guys. Thanks for answering that question. Gosh, we got it 203. Let's bonus module. Bridget's saying, yeah.
I'm going to mute
creep,
you.
Neil. You're right. You're right, Neil. I'm letting you guys scope creep on us.
No.
That's all right. That's what we're here for. How do I get around the fact that I'm just starting out and really don't know the services I would be offering as a consultant to business owners, but it's something I would really want to get into? Nancy, that's a great question. Maria, do you want to answer that one, or would you like me to?
You're on a roll, baby. Take it away.
Okay, guys. You know what? That's a great question. First of all, Nancy, you're in the right place. We're going to be walking through a hand-holding, step-by-step, setting up Facebook, setting up Pinterest, setting up your mobile campaigns, and we're going to provide you with both two options, bootstrapping methods to get it done, and some paid next-level tools. So we got you covered on that. Now, you want to understand things. Now, when it comes to outsourcing, some of you may be already into outsourcing. Some of you may be a little scared to let your business in other people's hands. Some of you may not even know what outsourcing is. Outsourcing is when you hire a person to help you provide your services. Now, I have two simple things. Ask the right questions, get the right answers. Give the right directions, get the right results. So, Nancy, first of all, stick with the challenge. You're going to at least learn enough to ask the right questions and give the right directions if you so choose to go to an outsourcing platform and have someone help you. We will talk in a later module about some places, and you'll find it in our resources tab, of some places that you can go to get outsourcing done when we add that content in there. But you're okay. You're in the right place. Learn a little bit more. Practice. Practice on your own pages, or just make up a niche. It doesn't matter. You can always delete this stuff. There's really nothing you can break. So get out there and start learning the basics of how to do it. And then if you have somebody who needs to do it for you, or somebody that wants you to do it for them, get paid to educate yourself. Truthfully, that's an amazing strategy. Is my very first client knew I was sort of kind of winging it, because long story short of how I got them, we'll probably talk about that in later webinars, but I got $3,500 and I invested in tools so that I could learn how to do more of this, because I really sort of kind of didn't know everything there was to do. I was just starting my business out. So that's exactly what I was doing. So, Maria, any comments on that?
Everyone loves your energy, that you're rolling. You're totally in the zone. So awesome. Everyone loves what you're saying. Jane says, I love Tita. There's a lot of questions.
I can't say the word success.
Yeah, you have beautiful teeth now.
All right, I already got one thing on the mind, guys. I don't know why.
You know, this is really interesting from Stephen. I want to hit the social media questions. Guys, I know there's a lot of questions on consulting. We tend to, more towards the end of the challenge, really fire up on consulting, how to get your first client and all that stuff, because you got to know some basics first. And I know some people here some are really experienced and wondering about outsourcing, but come back to social media. Someone's asking a really good question about, what about all the other hundreds of social media sites out there? Question mark, question mark. What do you say to that?
That's a great question. You know what? There's a zillion of them. And I'm going to go back to one thing only, is that you need to know your objective. There are certain sites that I will use that stumble upon, for instance. I use that for some of my clients because I have a very particular objective to utilizing that site. So there are a lot of other social platforms out there. You got to know your objective, why you're doing what you're doing, and the puzzle box theory. What are you looking at? What does the big picture look like? And yes, there are lots of other different tools out there. In this particular challenge, we are really focusing on, the Facebook primarily. Pinterest primarily, and mobile marketing. We will touch on the other platforms, so don't worry about that. YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. We will look at all those, possibly even Tumblr, one of my favorites. I've been having a lot of fun with Tumblr. We will touch on those, but it goes back to the same strategies all the time. What's your objective? What does your puzzle box look like? Do you find your target audience in some of these other platforms? I will tell you this story quickly on Tumblr. Last summer, I was not into Tumblr at all. I literally, I'd heard of it, but it was not anything that I even considered. Till I go away to New York every summer with my children, because our whole family's from New York, if you can't tell, with my little twang here and there. So I said to my daughters, as they took a bunch of pictures, I was like, oh, put them up on Facebook. I thought, my daughter looked at me like I had 6 heads. They're all teens, 15, 16, and 17, so that's pretty much how they look at me every day. But they're like, Mom, Facebook, are you kidding me? We tumble. And I was like, you know what? She goes, we use Tumblr for all that kind of stuff. So bing, 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 bing. I have clients that have products and services that relate to the teen market. I was like, oh, holy scramolies, I better learn Tumblr really fast because it fit my needs. My objectives were satisfied. I learned the Tumblr, and you learned how to utilize it for the clients that I have. So you see how you have to know that. I know I can't reiterate it enough, but know your big picture, know your MET formula, your TDK formula, and rock and roll from there. You know what, Maria? I missed this before, but I did say I would answer this. Fastest path to cash. You'll see it FP2, the number 2, and the letter C on some of our blueprints. That's fastest path to cash. That's something I learned from a mentor a long time ago, and I've seen it in many, many other places. How I define FP2C is the service, the action, or the product that you can get out there and do or have or make available to people that you can make the highest return on investment from the fastest and rinse and repeat. The example I use in the video is the carpet cleaner. Carpet cleaner can clean 3 rooms in 2 hours for $500. They can do that every 2 hours and make a $400 profit. That's the easiest client for them to get. They only have to pay their 2 workers to do that, $50, their worker $50 an hour, so their costs on it is $100 plus what they have to use for their, cleaning equipment. So they're making a $400 profit. They can do it a minimum of 4 times a day, and they can do it all day long, every day. That is the fastest path to cash. The action, the service, the product that you can do and you have available with the highest return on investment that you can rinse and repeat all day long. You can determine what that is and set that up so that while you're building your business and your income streams from wherever you're coming from, for those of you who are looking for money, and you're not looking for money because you want to just, increase your assets and value, and you're looking for fastest path to cash, really hard and fast, determine what that one thing is, do it, and do it all day long until you're comfortable, and then move to the next strategy. Make sense, guys? Kevin Wines, thank you. All right, guys. So, Maria, got any more questions? What do you got? We got about 10 minutes.
Yes, hello there. Let's see, we do have some quick questions. We've got, where can I find a beginner's Facebook tutorial by Richard White? How about that?
Well, holy scramolians. If you just hang out until I fire up my Camtasia. No, I'm still here.
Hello?
Do you hear me? Do you guys hear me? I'm still here. No hearing me? They can hear me, Maria. You just can't.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
La 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 la. All right, guys, the lake story. Yeah, there's water in her ears. Yeah, no. Yeah, guys, we got that coming too. Don't worry about that. We actually, based on Healthy Teresa, I am literally Camtasiaing, which means I'm videoing the entire act of setting up the timeline and setting up those basic tutorials for you. Because we found that if we put too many carts before horses, people get way ahead of us in our training, so we try to get things set up as they are needed for the training going forward. So if we give people, I know you guys, some of you guys are on the fast track and are like, oh, but I want that now, I want it yesterday. But we stack value. We've learned this from doing these challenges multiple times, that if we get people way ahead of others, then it just doesn't work. So just trust us. We got this gig going on. We've done it a few times. And if some of you, if we are, you know, a little behind with some of you, hang out. And feel free to pop in, and, you know, maybe you guys will have good suggestions for us going down the road. And when we have the community open tomorrow, you can feel free to share some information within reason. I will warn you guys right now, and you'll get this tomorrow. We open a community, you start pitching your stuff, community gets closed, you get kicked out. Game over. So that was your fair warning for the day. That was my ragginess for the day. So
awesome.
Just warning you. That was it. All right, so how do you get to the training from yesterday to review? Shirley, great question. You know what, Maria, while I'm going to answer that question, you want to pull a couple out? I'm going to go live to the site because I saw that question a couple of times.
Okay.
Okie dokie, guys. Let me go right here, and you know what? Why did Facebook...
Sorry.
What did they say? Are they laughing at me?
They're saying, wow, Tina's tough. Fair enough.
Tina is tough. I knew you loved that, Maria. You guys can't resist that TIT thing. Oh, even you guys are chiming in. Man,
Corlin's asking about KIR Guru. Yeah, that's at www.kirdeals.com/trial because it's a buck trial to it. So, Corlin, if you haven't got in yet, that's what you do. We'll be using contest domination in this challenge, John asked. Great question, John.
Well, we did use the example on it. I may show another example of setting it up. We have a couple of other contest tools that we use. So we did show the contest domination when we put it up for the contest that got many of you into the branding webinar, and those of you who won some money and won some Fiverr gift cards. But yeah, you know what, we'll look into contesting. We will probably do a little bonus module on contesting. Not sure if I'm going to use contest domination in it. I personally believe it was an excellent product. I was very happy with it. And the way we took it strategically into Facebook, not something I've seen anybody else really doing, and I know the guys who put it together, that wasn't something in their tutorial training, but it is an excellent product, and it's something that, you know, maybe we'll see how things go toward. We got a lot of content to cover, so I want to make sure you guys get a variety of different things. But if you are trying to use contest domination, here's the gig. For those of you, Keep It Real Gurus, we have 3 different modules on that. One is on social, one is on SEO and sales funnel. The third is on tools of the trade. If there was a tool that we promoted, like contest domination, and you have questions on it, our expert that helped put that up, Gina, who is one of our most amazing angels, will be live on the tools of the trade training that will help you with questions that you have on any product that we may have promoted. And if she doesn't know the answer, we will get it from the creators or the person who promoted it. So that is what Keep It Real Guru is about, supporting you socially, supporting you SEO-wise with traffic and sales funnel, and supporting you with the tools that you need for your success. So if you have specific contest domination questions, we'll get them answered next Wednesday. Now, inside of the sites, daily training. Here's where you start, guys. Here is, Maria, is there anywhere in particular? Here's where Gurus, and there's where the VIP Mobile Club is. Daily training.
Yeah. Day one. I just saw day one, and a lot of those videos, you know, are short and sweet videos. Like, how long is the MET formula? Under 10 minutes? Is that what it was?
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
They're all like 10-minute videos, 8 to 10 minutes. And don't worry, guys, the worksheet, we just had to make some revisions on it. We'll be back up, you know, within the next couple of hours. Here's the TBK formula. Here's the puzzle box theory. Here's the worksheet for the TBK formula. Yesterday's training. For this question, I think I did see this earlier. Day 1 training session. As you know, on the training days, we do 2 training sessions, a 1 o'clock and an 8 o'clock. It would be redundant for us to put up both of them, so we choose what we feel was the best out of both, and we'll put up that one. In this case, I believe the 8 o'clock webinar was here.
Oh,
what are you laughing about?
You have to see what Leslie Lamb wrote. I can't say that. Now, I can't hit reply and show it to everyone because that's just too funny, but that's pretty funny.
Oh, Leslie. I actually have one. You know what? Why this got started?
You
is
have
because
one?
because I have a site called day2qa.com. Never thought of it, and Maria, you know, can I tell you, she just rolled with that baby. So Tina in 10, I do have a site with a bunch of 10-minute videos on there, and I'll tell you, you can't trust her for a second with acronyms. Really?
Well, Tina lives in
Goodness
Tarpon
gracious.
Springs, so Tina in Tarpon Springs, Tina in Tampa,
God.
Tina in 10.
Think of something that would mix Maria with, like, I don't know, Maria loves, it's just something that'll work. Guys, help me out on this one.
I have
All right,
something
so
from university I'll never tell you. You're gonna
Oh, great.
talk to my buddies about that. Tina is texting,
goodness.
Nervy says. Tina is tough. See,
you guys-
it's just so easy. It's just so dang easy.
You guys just love abusing me. You know what? No more content for any one of you. All right, guys. So here we go. Why SEO? We have a video here. Right click. We have the timeline blueprint. This is not only the timeline webinar that I did, but the cheat sheet, which rocks, which actually Gina did. Then we have 10 Facebook branding strategies, which we will be elaborating on tomorrow. So you have the PDF for you to look at that has all the 10 strategies listed right off. And we did an intro to Pinterest. This video was kind of based on a product that we had promoted from Peter Garrity, who just rocks. He's one of our amazing experts who will be on our VIP expert panel. But this webinar was based on that, so sometimes we may reference that in this particular webinar. But it had a great blueprint, which you're going to see on, I want to say Module 8. I'm not 100% sure what module it is, but where you'll see we'll not only have that blueprint for you, but we'll have that elaborated on. So guys, here's the inside. Anywhere else here you want, make sure you know all your schedules here, and it's right on the right-hand sidebar. For any of you guys who have questions on getting signed up, everything's here and here. And in case you missed it, here are some bonus trainings on Composer, setting up PayPal buttons, sales funnel, sales pages, squeeze pages, just some stuff that we thought that you guys would enjoy or could, you know, make good use out of. And here is your success action steps for Module 1. Resources. This will be a living, breathing site, as we talked about yesterday. So you will see every day, maybe even more than one time a day, we will be adding additional content. So here's some basic resources that we have. Just FTC compliancy. Some of them may be our affiliate links. Some of them may not. Some of them may just be free tools that we're sending to you guys. But success leaves clues, guys.
Hey, Tina.
Yes,
Can I end the Q&A session with just one last question? I think it's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So everyone, get back Wednesday, tomorrow, at 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. And Thursday, please don't miss it, 1 p.m. We will talk. Tomorrow Tina's going to tell you how to set up a Facebook page in 9 minutes or less. So we actually get into action. And then Thursday at 1 p.m. we're going to have a special guest on as well that's going to just knock your socks off and show you how to integration of Facebook, mobile, Pinterest. But last question, and then we'll have to say adieu because we have a client call at 2:30. I don't know if you're aware of that, Tina. Yeah, so time vampire here. So here's the last question that I thought was really cool, and it was asked way early in the webinar, so forgive me if I forget who asked that. But the question was, in internet marketing, it seems that the theme and to be successful is to over-deliver, you know, like you guys do. Well, thank you. But in consulting, you talked about scope creep, so it seems that that's not applicable to consulting. So I want to address that question because I really love that question because it's actually something to ponder about and think about, and there's no right or wrong answer to this. But I'll tell you what my answer is, and Tina, if you could tell you what your answer is, and then we'll say adieu to everyone until tomorrow. That's a great kind of understanding that, yes, in internet marketing, nobody knows you, and you're selling virtually, you know, on a website. So how do you reach your hand out? So that's like I'm shaking your hand or Tina's shaking your hand where you're sitting right now listening to us. How do you do that, right? And so it's really hard to go right out and bang and sell a $5,000, $1,000 package without you knowing us. So that's why in internet marketing in general, online, yes, doing something that's over-delivering, moving the free line, so to say, is so important for your branding, your exposure, and getting traffic. And it doesn't all happen all at once. There are a lot of traffic questions going, how do I get traffic, damn it? It doesn't happen all overnight. It grows and grows and grows. You know, the first time I had a workshop, you know, 11 people showed up, right? Then it grew and grew and grew. But out of that 11 people, I closed 30%, you know, $5,000, you know, cool. But now we're talking consulting. So let's talk about that. You can't, it's not apples to apples. Consulting and start a consulting business is very different than doing like an information product business. And running a consulting business, what you are in is a relationship business. I can't stress that enough. You are in a relationship business. So the term over-deliver, my philosophy is it doesn't exist in consulting. It really doesn't. What you are doing is a relationship business with the person. You're bringing results, and frankly, what happens in that case is that when you bring results, they will rehire you. They will refer you, and it doesn't matter whether you charge $10,000 or $100,000. Or Tina and I closed a $500,000 contract with one person last year, $500,000, and we're doing the same stuff that someone else probably is charging $5,000 for, $20,000 for. Why do we do it? It's because of the referrals, the contacts, relationships. Because could we have closed that 4 years ago? No, heck no. You know, but we're doing it today. So I guess my 2 cents worth on that. I think it's a very interesting philosophical question, and consulting's a little different. We're going to raise everyone's game here. I don't care who taught you, but no one's going to teach you consulting like Tina and I can teach you, because we've run multi-million-dollar consulting firms. Okay, the real way to do consulting is like when I used to work for the big Fortune 500 consulting companies. You know, Price Waterhouse, Computer Sciences Corporation, Deloitte Touche. We would do things like white papers. That's kind of moving the free line or over-deliver, but it's not turned over-deliver. It's just positioning in the marketplace as an expert. We would do things like luncheons. We would do things like even support charities. And we would then go really voraciously after referrals, because I can't stress that enough. The hardest part is getting your first client. Once you get that first client, then you work the referral machine, all right? And that's really important. So I hope I've answered that from my point of view. Tina might have a totally different point of view, but go ahead, Tina.
First of all, don't kid yourself, guys. When it comes to scope creep and the over-delivering that we give you, we do it because we have methods to our madness, and your success is ours. So when we're working with you guys and giving you the training that you need, I don't necessarily consider it scope creep at all. This is over-deliver because we want to see your successes. So if we felt that we were over-delivering and it was on the fringe of scope creep, and occasionally we do see questions that come in that are way beyond the areas that we would cover, and they go into consulting and things like that, and sometimes people get mad at us for not answering them. That's scope creep. But what we do for you on these calls is because we choose to. Now, scope creep is when people infringe. And when you come to a client is paying you. So they paid you to do a certain job, and you know the level that you need to do things to accomplish certain tasks to get the job done. And here's a perfect example. That I was doing some work on Facebook, and I just wasn't getting the return on investment that I wanted. So I went above and beyond, and we're actually looking at doing this with a client right now, opening up a Pinterest account for them, just because we really need to get that bang. And we need to show them the return on investment that they want to see. I'm doing that not because I have to or they scope creeped on me or anything like that, but I know the level that I need to keep my business at because my name's on the door. That's it. My name's on the door. Scope creep is more when somebody's asking you to do something that's really not, part of what your job is. Our job is your success. Now, are we responsible for your success? Absolutely not. You're responsible for your success, but the fact that you're here with us, inspiring, motivating, and biting your asses to get you to take action is our job. And if we got to give you a little bit extra to do that, that's what we're going to do. So that's my take on that, Maria. What are you thinking?
I am thinking that this has been fantastic. Everyone got a lot of mojo out of it. It was awesome. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. or 8 p.m., whatever you desire. All right. Tina, thank you so much. And Tina,
wait.
What?
Go ahead. If
not now?
When?
And you are all DNA coded for?
Greatness. Please make your when now. Go take action. Hang up with us and go take action, guys. You rock.